Australia is banning social media, but will it work?
Social media is doing harm to our kids, and I'm calling time on it.
What's up guys, Mike here, welcome back to my channel. Hit the subscribe button for more pop culture content, let's get into it. Okay, so this is kind of adjacent to what I normally talk about, but as an Australian and as a creator, I'm really interested in this idea that the Australian government has to essentially ban social media for under 16-year-olds.
I've got to post a link with witty comment. World's lamest dork is giant loser. Poop emoji.
And I have so many thoughts on this sort of circling through my mind because I am a millennial who grew up in the age of social media.
Stan, Grandma said she poked you and you haven't sent a poke back.
Dad, I didn't even want to do-
Stan, poke your grandma!
Okay, that's kind of an exaggeration because I actually have a decent life, but I think social media is actually a really bad thing for the world, and the older I get, I want to use it less and less. That's kind of like a commitment I'm making to myself. And of course, I'm not the only one that thinks that. Like, we all recognize that social media has a detrimental effect on our day-to-day lives, on our mental health, on our ability to function as normal people, on our ability to feel connected. Seriously, I'll openly say I have so many negative emotions related to my social media use. I've been in therapy where I've talked about my social media addiction. And to be honest, I would argue that we're all addicted to social media.
I'm addicted to you.
It just amplifies these feelings of like me not being good enough, jealousy, envy, all of these kind of yuck feelings that I don't particularly want to feel.
Who the heck are you?
I'm Envy. Look at your hair.
Oh yeah, not happening.
And I think social media operates under the guise of like connecting us as humans, and certainly people like Mark Zuckerberg have said that, but at the end of the day, I think that we have really missed out on real world connection. And when it comes to banning social media for under 16-year-olds, I can't really figure out if I'm supportive or not, because I think I am supportive, but I think functionally it won't work.
It's not going to work.
I joined social media from pretty much the age of like 13 on MySpace, quickly went into Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Snapchat, all of the above, used all of them, have been hooked on all of them, still trying to get off them. And I can remember being 13 on MySpace and literally being addicted to that red symbol that said new comment or new friend request.
Mom, Dad, I made a friend today. Kip, really?
You did?
Yeah!
And these mechanisms literally feed on the same thing that like pokey machines are. It's literally like a swipe down and an unlimited, endless supply of content. And I think it was even worse for us as kids, and I guess like kids shouldn't be on this kind of thing. Kids should be like learning new skills, finding new hobbies, developing themselves as they're young to like be really like enriched and like fulfilled people in adulthood. Because for a lot of my 20s, I feel like I used social media as a crutch to seek validation that I didn't have within myself. And I learned from a very young age to do that. Only now, coming to the end of my 20s, am I finally like learning that I don't need that validation from social media and I can just kind of do my own thing and feel validated by the real people in my life. And the Australian government is putting the onus or the responsibility on the social media businesses, whether that be Meta or like any other business out there like TikTok. They need to childproof their platforms in Australia. I guess the real question is, how do they do that and who polices it and enforces it?
What seems to be the officer problem?
I don't really know the answer to that. Some people suggest that you have to upload an ID of yourself to access these platforms. That raises a bunch of other issues. For example, who owns that information that I upload or that a child uploads to verify their identity? And put simply, I just don't think it'll work functionally.
It's broken, Mom. Mom, it's broken. Mom, it's broken. Mom, it's broken.
We all know there are many things on the internet where you can just click I am 18 and it lets you in. And let's not beat around the bush. Like, Facebook has always had these age restrictions. All of these platforms are, but kids know how to get around them. Well, at the moment, you literally just lie about your age. I guess the only way to really get around it is through this verification ID system, but I just don't see how that will work in practicality. And I think as humans and as a society, we're dealing with this really serious issue that almost has no solution.
I can't. I simply can't.
Very effective.
Like, it is abundantly clear to me that people are addicted to social media, that people are obsessed with social media. People care more about digital interactions than real life interactions with real people. I actually recently finished this book called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport, and I really enjoyed the rhetoric inside. One thing that really spoke to me in this book around social media usage was this quote here: "The small boosts you receive from posting on a friend's wall or liking their latest Instagram photo can't come close to compensating for the large loss experienced by no longer spending real-world time with that same friend." And that's the thing, isn't it? Social media makes us feel like we're connected to all these people when really we're not, and those connections are so low level and so unfulfilling and so fleeting that we actually ignore the real people in our lives that really truly can make us feel fulfilled to instead service these fake friendships.
I'm not your friend, buddy. I'm not your buddy,
To be honest, like, I support a ban on social media for kids the same way we ban smoking and the same way we try to make it hard for young people to drink alcohol, but at the end of the day, abolition just doesn't really work. I think if you are a young person watching this and you want to keep using social media, or are you really looking forward to being on social media, just know, as someone who's been on it for 15 years, it's honestly not really good. I wish I could relive and get back some of the time that I've lost, wasted spending time on social media. I wish I could go back and tell myself not to start using these things, but I did, and I can never get that back. And if you're a young person, I'd be spending more time really fostering relationships with your family, with your friends, the people that I guarantee care about you most and more than anyone else. If connection is what you're looking for, if you feel that you're lacking connection, then I promise you the answer is not on Instagram. The answer is in the real world. And I think this problem is only going to get worse with time. So I don't know, I guess we're all just sort of along for the ride here. Whew, thank you so much for watching. Maybe a bit of a downer with this one, but I'm curious, do you think that this is the right way to go, banning social media in this way, or do you think there are other options? Do you think social media is inherently a bad thing? Like, I definitely acknowledge that there's good things about it, but I just think for kids it's not great. Like, let me know down in the comments. I'm really keen to hear your thoughts. I would also love for you to subscribe and check out some of my other videos. I just hit 8,000 subscribers. Huge. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting my content, getting around what I do here, and yeah, really just sort of supporting me. It means the absolute world. That is pretty much it from me. I'll be back with more videos soon. My name's Ready Mike. This has been The Inside of My Mind, and I'll catch you later.